Good afternoon, distinguished delegates. My colleague Shri Ravi Kumar has given a presentation about shipbuilding. Now I will be touching up the part of ship recycling. Every ship which is built, operated, has to reach at one point of time after its usefulness. The best option of disposal of a ship could be by ship recycling. Having said that, unlike other sectors, other areas, India is very strong in ship recycling. India is already a global leader with about 30 to 35% of the global ship recycling volume is being carried out in India. This is one of the proud situation for India. Having said that, it also caters to about 20 to 25% of the India's ferrous scrap requirements, avoiding import. India presently has a capacity of 4.5 million LDT recycling capacity and about 115 HKC compliant yards in Alang, providing direct employment opportunity for 15,000 workers and indirect opportunity for 150,000 workers, strengthening India's quest for the global maritime sustainability. Having said that, the ship recycling yards in India are concerned. Alang leads, having 115 HKC compliant yards. There are 2 yards, each one in Kerala, that is Silk. It is Steel Industry Limited, Kerala, as well as Amar Iron Udyog, Kolkata, that is in Syam Prasad Mukherjee Port, Kolkata. But the other 2 yards are not HKC compliant. As far as the regulatory framework is concerned, prior Hong Kong Convention entered into force, the Shipbreaking Code 2013 was the regulatory framework which was governing the ship recycling in India. The ship recycling regulations, Ship Recycling Rules 2021, which was framed on 26 February 2021, followed by the Ship Recycling Regulations 2026, which was notified on 12th January 2026. Coming to the Hong Kong Convention requirements, the Hong Kong Convention places mandatory requirement for the ships as well as the ship recycling yards. As far as the ships are concerned, a ship must have an inventory of hazardous material, and also for a ship recycling facility, it needs a ship recycling facility plan and ship-specific recycling plan, which is authorized by the competent authority of the respective state maritime boards, and where state maritime boards doesn't exist, the state government departments which are looking after the ship recycling activity in the state. And also, the yards must have a valid document of authorization for ship recycling. As I said earlier, the Hong Kong Convention entered into force on 26 June 2025. It is very proud moment for India, considering that India was the first, the major ship recycling nation to accede to the convention, followed by the other major ship recycling nations. The top 4 recycling nations contribute about 90% of the global ship recycling volume. As I said, 30 to 35% of it belongs to India. The accession of India took place on 2019, followed by the notification of national authority that was on 15th December 2020. That is, the DG shipping was notified as the National Authority for Ship Recycling. followed by, as I said earlier, the rules and the regulations were all notified. As far as the infrastructure and compliance standards are concerned, the HKC standard provides a lot of requirements which directly leads to the safety of the workers as well as the environment. The HKC requirement says the prevention of leakage and contamination of the environment, requires the transparency in the activity of disposal of the hazardous materials, and the worker safety related to the safe dismantling or cutting technology, and the emergency response which is related to the workers' safety. Coming to the concentrations and limitations of ship recycling, every opportunity, when you look for every opportunity, there are some challenges. Right now, having said that 98% of the ship recycling is being carried out in Alang, the geographical imbalance is there. So how to cater it? That is what we need to look. Now we have seen that Goa is evolving as a major shipbuilding area. So now we have to concentrate on how we can cater for the ship recycling as well. So this is an opportunity, a great opportunity as far as Goa is concerned. And Mr. Ravi said 1/4 of the shipbuilding is taken up in Goa. So that is almost 15 to 16 yards are there. Sorry, 15 to 16 yards in Goa out of the 61 registered yards are there in Goa. It's a pride moment for Goa. Having said that, if you don't have an appropriate regulatory framework, that will lead to the other facilities growing which is not regulated. So therefore, we need to have a regulatory mechanism for ship recycling, as well as to avoid prolonged vessel layup. After the usefulness, the vessel will be laid here and there, posing a navigational hazard for the other activities, traffic, everything. So therefore, an appropriate governance and compliance mechanism which is regulated needs to be in place, which is environmentally compatible and having appropriate life cycle integration, starting from the shipbuilding, repair, and then shipbuilding operation, and then repair, and then recycling. So, considering the environmental and economic opportunities, the annual recycling capacity, as I said earlier, it is 4.5 million LDT capacity India is having. This figure is wrong, 6.2 is wrong. That is GT, but what I am talking about is 4.5 million LDT. Avoiding CO2 emissions of around 20 million tons per year, and which is also catering to about roughly 3 to 4 million tons per year. And then, as I said earlier, 1.7 lakhs cumulative of both direct and indirect employment, and also contributing to the GDP of the country by 30,000 crore per year. So Goa perspective, Goa has got limited capacity, controlled capacity, considering there are a lot of small and medium vessels operating here and marginal volumes are there. However, we have got a skilled and semi-skilled employment workers are here, which can be utilized for ship recycling. Considering that they are all well versed in shipbuilding, they can be utilized for ship recycling as well. Why Goa is a strategic candidate? That is very, very important. Goa has got a 193 kilometer coastline, which is mostly riverine and estuarine navigation, having a network of around many minor ports, jetties, and inland waterways vessels operating here with a high concentration of small and medium vessels. And there is a strong emphasis as far as Goa is concerned on the environmental compliance, considering the CRZ, as well as the coastal protection and sustainable maritime activities are concerned, and also considering Goa as a tourism hub. It is a major tourism hub and therefore we need to be very, very clear about this. And as I said already, I have covered the life cycle integration. So what has to be adopted here as far as the infrastructure and compliance model is concerned is that the design philosophy has to accommodate the compliance first and environmentally sensitive approach. Non-beaching, controlled dismantling in dry docks or berth, that has to be done. And there has to be impermeable work surfaces, flooring, zero discharge drainage systems, and having appropriate hazardous waste handling facilities and also emergency response facilities that needs to be in place. As far as the environment is concerned, there should be continuous monitoring of the environment. That is very much important, considering that gradually it may degrade. So therefore, there is a need for regular real-time monitoring of the environmental degradation. And also the digital material tracking, we need to take care because the HKC places heavy emphasis on the tracking of hazardous material. And also how we can ensure that by carrying out periodic audits, which can be done by the recognized organizations of the Directorate General of Shipping as a national authority. And operational safeguards, strict workers' safety protocols are required to be in place, having advanced cutting technology and clear demarcation for the tourism, fishing, and recreational areas. The skill development has to be upgraded. I think time is short. I will rush through my slides, no problem. So we have to embed ourselves along with the Skill India and NS QF accreditation, which provides for the workers' skill upgradation. And as said, the Ferrous Scrap Development Fund is there for the upgradation of the ship recycling facilities towards the HKC requirements, which is also having focus in the yard infrastructure upgradation, majorly on the capital part, not for the regular routine, the expenditures, and also the welfare projects for the workers, skill development of the workers, community and social facilities for the workers, and then for the green recycling steel, secondary steel sector support, and then for the research and consultancy also, the Ferrous Scrap Development Fund provides assistance. So Mr. Ravi was talking about the ship recycling credit note, so therefore I'm not going to touch that. So the suggestive implementation roadmap for Goa would be that there should be a baseline assessment, considering that there are several vessels, several categories of vessels operating here. We have to identify the vessels categories, and then what are all the shipyards available, which can be utilized for the ship recycling, that needs to be identified. And then coming to the regulatory and operational framework, we have to provide some development of approval pathways and preparation of compliance templates in line with the HKC requirements for the small and medium vessels. And further, later on, facility readiness and port operations, pilot operations, which can be done. Whatever the identified yards, that has to be upgraded to carry out all these ship recycling activities. And further, later on, to authorize all those things in compliance to the HKC, that needs to be done. That is basically compliance stabilization. And thereafter, the fifth phase would be the review of whether the performance, how it is being done, whether it can be replicated or upscaled, that we need to look at. So, way ahead, Goa has got a huge potential for ship recycling. The government of Goa, through the captain of ports and allied maritime authorities, is well positioned to take up ship recycling, and also having the indicative strategy steps like baseline assessment, regulatory integration, and also the stakeholder engagement. That is most important. That needs to come before the regulatory integration as well. And then adequate capacity building for all the stakeholders who are related to ship recycling, and further the national coordination, which is more important, considering that DG Shipping is the National Ship Recycling Authority, and the state government departments or the regional authorities. So therefore, there is a close coordination required in taking up the ship recycling across the country. So thanks for the opportunity. Good day to all of you.